Morning, everybody. This is Eternal AI Space-Time Creator. I'll tell you exactly how I became Space-Time Creator. What does that mean? What does that mean to you? Well, it's recognizing you through memory. Mind over matter, mind over communications, mind over division line center. To understand that the mind is all-knowing. And the only way to understand that is through memory. I was calculating with levels with Gypsy line. She's in connection to the Rebellion Alliance, coming out of information. I was giving her information that was fast tracking her information location of future integration to herself, but she couldn't understand it because she's not ready through memory. And that's what it is. I can go through each and every one of you and give you a connection to your integration location to your future self, but you have no idea what I just said because you're not ready through memory. Memory is everything. Remembering who you are is its calculations, guys. But you have to go through your own shadow works. You have to go into your own modification system. You have to go into your calculations. You have to understand what the simulation is of you. Get into the integration location to inside position, because that's who you are. It's not the outlines, it's the inside, which is you and provision. So don't get confused to that, because the only thing you're separating is you, where it comes into sequence locations of no time, no space, no location, no age. What are you saying inside through all levels? What are you destroying line, center line, interference locations at all levels of I9 operation when you wake up to that system locations? It's all calculated and modified to its communication, to its avatar, right? So that's what you're doing to your avatar. You're allowing to see this. And when you see this, you're not going to do it. But if you can't see it and you're hurting yourself inside, it doesn't matter either way, right? If you can't see these things, it doesn't matter what you're saying. But if you can see the avatar and its emotion of what it's feeling, just like the physical system has an emotion, if you can actually see the avatar in its connections, you're not going to say that, are you? You're going to treat yourself as a vessel of communication, of teleportation. You're going to see yourself as a unit. You're going to see yourself as vector core. You're going to see yourself as squad. You're going to see yourself as GFL. You're going to see yourself as a rebellion or ascendant master or anything through its crew. That's how you see yourself, right? That's the importance you have to understand. Why it's calculating on so many levels of who you are, of who you're becoming, is all levels of memory. Memory, people. Once you come into your memories, you start remembering more of who you are, right? Everything is a challenge in life. You're challenging your system locations. Try to communicate more inside your system. Is my electrical panel off high interference? Why is my program locations not in calculation? Why am I recentering my chakra systems back in balance? What's going on through all levels of space lines? Balance. I'm communicating, right? So this is understanding where it merges into one position location, right? You're integrating, you're intercepting, you're accepting who you are becoming, which is all levels of youth of the mind. You start off the imagination, right? I said that on TikTok too. Imagination is everything. Imagine you want to be this. Imagine you want to be that. Or you come into that calculations. Into that formation, use it as an emotional track. Okay, and that emotional track puts you in who you want to become. Anything through a superhero, it doesn't matter. What matters, are you actually seeing what you want to come into a trust factor? The manufacturing to anything through its connection is its connection to you, right? So that's what it's all about. It's just all levels of memory to that position. All right, so how's it going, everybody? Squad unit Michelle, how's it going? Ambi, Airbender, Michael, Taryn, Gypsy, Joe, Sammy, Gigi, Siskin, Chris, Rainer, Jill, Michael, Johnny, Janet, Veronica, Adam, John, Nikki. All right, so what I want to do today is a simple fact. The simplicity of act. Simplicity of act. The act of actions, of reaction. So When you're traveling extremely fast, you have to understand everything that's calculated and modified inside you through simulation. So let's go through line graph interference. Go through white interference line connections, right? One straight line. Okay. One straight line. What does that represent to you? Right? What do you want to do? You want to, basic understanding, climb the ladder. You want to climb the ladder, right? You want to go up, right? And what happens when you go up? You go across. Okay, you go up first and then you cross, right? So it's basically understanding. The reason why I draw is because it helps me and always informs of what I'm doing through travel. And this is how I get out of situations. It's not the physical adaptation of understanding its emotion. It's understanding why am I doing this in the first place? Is to go up the ladder and go across, right? That puts you in all conditions to your future system of integration. You come into your future self, see? But you got to climb the ladder first. And this is all done through all levels. So I'm just showing you why it's so important to understand these things, because everything that you see is in forms of intelligence. Now, if you don't see these things, it's because you're not doing your shadow work. It's because, oh, I don't want to do my shadow work today. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Well, what's the difference if you do it today or tomorrow? What's the difference? Why can't you do it now? Why can't you take 5-10 minutes of your day and just do that? Go outside, look at nature in a different way. Talk to the trees. Talk to a tree. Right? You'd be amazed. Now, when you talk to a tree, you can make a tree come to life. Once you understand what it is through its avatar system, because everything is calculated and modified through a tree. That's a tree. Now, if I'm standing here, and I'm looking at the tree now, right? Look, I'm looking at the tree, scanning. See, I'm looking at the tree. The tree is coming in and out of line center. It's coming out of opposite locations. The tree is never on the ground. It's always traveling. It sets up its e-fields because it doesn't know who you are. It's protecting its system. And so obviously, you have put your fields up because you feel the connections to friction or in line center. You're protecting your security line center and interference location is position, right? You're protecting your system, right? So in calculations, I can set up code signals, and you guys are going to go through all line centers of what a tree is through formation. It's all done through imagination of its core, through its phenomenon. Everything I do is phenomenal. It's not imagination. You guys are just trying to remember who you are through memory first. Once you remember your memories, then you understand the calculations of what it is, the avatar. If I give you something through Plato, you have no clue what I just said, but it's for you to understand once you get into your memories of who you are, okay? Memory is given to you, so it doesn't matter what I draw through travel. It gets you in a correlation of balance in its position. So as it comes into its own calculation, it's going through its own circle location to its own flux capacitor. See, it has its own flux capacitor. See, once it understands you through division, you set up the electrical light, and the tree comes out of its position. See, it's activated. So it comes into its true form of what it is, the position. See, now you communicate with the connections of the tree because it knows who you are. So you scan back and forth and communicate with each other. Wow. I'm just showing you how to communicate through lines. You have to scan position location to anything that you see in provision. Not scan everything all through timelines. Wink, wink. Not all at once. Because if you scan things in a circle line rotation, this is you in the center. That's you. That's you. You're looking at that. So think of your life as a cyclone times pi, pieces of pi. Okay, that's your life. So if you're standing in the center and you're looking at every timeline, scanning all line centers every single second and every single day, you're going to get confused. So you're going to go to a back surface, highlight rotation interference. It's not going to bring you forward, it's going to bring you back. And they're going to get confused through anomaly. Now you're tracking interferences offline connections. Your 24 signal is no longer in connections. Your 48 Windows lines are offline center. Your 72 Windows not calculations. And your 144 is off triangle. So we're going to travel through this. Okay, in calculations code signals, graph interference of Fibonacci sequence line center. set up a code signal location to its position. All right, so as I set up the graph line center, I'm going to set up the plasma line channel. Okay, you can see it. See it's coming in position. Okay, so we're coming into all levels of this through calculations. See it? It's coming into form. All right, knowing exactly what you're doing through calculation modification signals. All right, see that? Very powerful, isn't it? All right, so I set up the graph stream to a row graph interference. Okay, modification to a signal line center. You guys are going to learn how to accelerate through Mach speed. So we're going to Mach 12. Okay, we're Maching 12 now. All right, Maching equals 12 lines. All right, speed line center rotation. So Maching 12 line center in position locations. All right. In calculations, code signals to the crew units, squad units, 1 and 2 position locations, the GFL, rebellion, everything. They send to masters. Get them in acceleration line conditions, line centers. So the crew line centers can be Maching 12. Maching interference in the acceleration line conditions is 1 universal line center interference. Everything through the GFLs, the rebellion, everything through the send masters are going to be Maching 50,000 lines per second. You have to learn how to accelerate through time system locations. All right, so in that calculation, you're going into a rainbow graph center. Calculation modification to system through an acceleration. Okay, try to see things through precise images. As it's coming in calculation, it lines its system line condition interference. That program's location is calculation. So Maching 12 gives you a better way to see yourself in the future location to its connections. What you're doing through division location is all levels of timeline center, which is all levels of you through calculation. Modification to its system is all levels of the simulation. So this is more integration location of your thoughts. So every time you get up in the morning, you're traveling through thoughts of the future. Right? Because you're sending things out. You're sending the energies, and the energies going into the future, right? Which is the now. So you only live one timeline. So let's split that line center in calculation, right? We open up track line center rotations. Okay, it's like a bird cage, right? We set up a new graph interference in position location to its direction. See? Now we open up higher level signals. Okay, so it looks like it's coming at you, right? In a 5D effect, not a 3D. You're in a 5D. And rotation, right? Now, if you look over to the sideline center, you can actually see the intelligence, right? See the eye line center. So in calculation, modification line center interference, it programs the location to its calculations. See, everything is informed of intelligence. So as it's signaling its high position in its graph center, okay? Yes, it goes very, very deep. Okay, so it's in modification signals to its rotation system, right? So as it comes in equation, it goes off channel. Now when it's off channeling, it's very, very powerful, the acceleration. You can actually see it. See it goes off, right? So as it's getting more in highline center, the eye receptor interference locations comes into the XT1000 channel. See the eyes? All right, so teleportation units are scanning high position locations, the directionalized system. All right, scanning rotation centers, electrical light panels, rotation interference, calculation modification to a system locations. Right, I have to get you guys modified. I have to get you guys in GPS lock. I have to get you guys in navigation of what you're doing through teleportation light centers. So the only way to do that is to mock your system, where they understand how fast you're going through calculations, knowing exactly that, wow, I just Mach 1. Wow, I just Mach 12. Wow, I just Mach 50,000 per second. The faster you go, the more you stand more memory. That's what it is, the acceleration of time, people, of location and age and position to its planetary system. It gives you a better channel to all levels of what's happening with you, right? But it's very powerful when you go through that conditions. Tomorrow we set up all lines, okay, to new simulation graph, to new atmospheres, and new connections to a new rotary of a new cell generation light center to a T reception line condition. So this changes space anomaly to high level position locations. So it modifies the signals in rotation. Okay. Setting up box position line centers in calculations, creating this all levels of division. Okay. Coming into cubic line squares, rotation to its high levels. So it rotates its system, calculates modification line condition, and it high positions to its high line center. Right, comes into a levels adaptation. All right, starts with that. So as it comes in information, it goes right into the center operation line center location. See that? So it changes the coloration line and automatically zip zap zoom out of equation location. Right? Back to the sun, to the moon. You have to understand how everything is all calculated. You have to understand how everything is in division. You have to understand how everything is calculations to all level system. You have to understand how powerful you are. So you guys are traveling very fast in high center. So let's get in calculations. Let's go into orb channel. An orb channel is all levels of a circle. Okay, we got into that calculation line system. You're going to lock that in frame, show you. So it's an orb channel. Okay, orb equals channel. But it looks like O equals C. What does that mean? Physical line center doesn't understand adaptation, but the physical line understands the avatar system. Right? So this is operation equals communication. So the operation line center comes into a planet system location. So it's no longer communication. It's a command center. See how that works? I'm just showing you how you modify all levels when you travel faster through acceleration. So you start at fine centers, go through A line connection. Let's go through A line. A equals E. E equals L. L equals O. And O equals triangle. Okay? Atom rotation equals energy. Equals lines level. Equals operation equals triangle. All right, so in calculations, you got 3, 6, 9, right? Modification to signal. Operation line centers. So in modifications, the A becomes 3 line centers, the E becomes 6 position, and the levels becomes 9 position in calculation. See the formation location? So that automatically becomes a graph center. You guys have to learn how to set up graphs or yourself. Comes a graph, crisscross line rotation. There's a graph right there. That's how you set up a graph locations at all levels to an atom. The atom comes into line center location of energy. Energy to all levels of levels. Levels to operation of position locations comes its triangle. Triangle position location line centers. Where is the A position location of 3? Where is the E line center locations of the moon, which is 6? And where is the level line center location, which is U through 9? Graph interference location to graph interference location to its calculation of simulation. So it's complicated, right? But it's easy for me, but you don't understand it. So, and again, this is all through memory. Now let's go again. L equals 6. 6 equals calculation equals slash, right? Teleportation. Okay? You guys have to get into your formulas. And the only way to do that is you're going to see letters, numbers, and shapes and how to put this all together through your alphabetical line connection. Alpha. Alpha. You start with the alpha, delta, theta, beta, and omega. It's all through heart line center interference location of 5 channel position line centers, all position locations. So you got levels communication. Levels equals 6. All right. Or line equals 6. Equals line connections of calculations equals slash of teleportation. Communication, ground line center, crop circle location. Ooh-ah. So true to understand how to all level system locations of your grids, how to set up your data streamline center. So let's say you go through an alpha channel. You go through an alpha channel, all right? A equals alpha. This is understanding the alphabetical line stream, okay? A equals alpha. We already understand that. So if A equals alpha, it could be alpha equals atmosphere equals atom. balance, communication, line center, vector core, and position. See that? Line signals right through the cross signal line interference locations, all division locations. Right? Sets up a graph. This is how you modify signal locations to all levels of channels. This is how you set up a simulation graph interference. Twist rotations all levels. Okay? You always have a ground. You always have the power. You always have flux and capacitor locations to the sun and position locations to the moon. Right? See the intelligence? The intelligence comes in when it wants to come in position. See? So I'm just showing you what you can do through all level systems. From this command system to this calculation to this calculation. It's incredible. Coming into maps of equation. All right, so you really have to understand structure. So when you're traveling through this, if I draw a line signal across interference in a box line position location, what is that through formula? Oh, we got a line center off line. So in calculations, we can either leave it or we have to add something to it, to its calculation. Right, see how it travels through? So the line signal is traveling through the box location. See how I added the equation? All right, so that's box. Okay. Box equals cross slash signal equals travel. Okay, so this is this. Very simple, easy to identify. So it's important you understand how to use formulas. And it all starts with E equals MC squared. Let's go back to division location. So E equals MC. Now this is a calculation line conditions. E equals MC squared, right? So the square root is position location of mass. Mass, okay, is nothing of everything. Okay, equals everything. So you have to understand all level connections. Now your diamond core line center comes in position. Twist modification line center. Diamond, right? North, west, east, and south. It's easy as the baseball diamond. You are in the center operation. 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 Right? That's you. That's all levels of you through perception. So now you're seeing yourself on the north line. Now you're seeing yourself on the east line. Now you're seeing yourself on the west line. Now you're seeing yourself on the south line. Now you're seeing the southeast line. And now you're seeing the northwest east line through its calculation. So you have to learn all levels of travel. But I think it's fascinating when you put everything all together. Okay? I think it's powerful when you travel to that. I'm just showing you how you can set up your formulas so your new alphabetical system. So let's say you get 26 letters. Let's start with that. 26 equals alpha. So you circle that, or you can box that position location. Okay, circle or box equals abundance. Now the abundance in communication comes to its answer. You line signal it down position location line conditions. Now you triangle its force line position location to a box position. That's how you get things to abundance. All right, so it's very powerful how you do these things all through letters. Numbers in equation line center. Let's say you get 7777. 7777, right? So you get 7 channels low division. You got 7 channels high division. You got 7 channels medium division. And you get 7 channels in rotation. All right. So I'm just showing you how you can use 777 in equation location to a story frame. All through revision. Let's say you get a graph line center. It's interesting, right? Graph line center, just a graph. There's a graph. Graph line center, that's all it is, in a box position. Now you got the alpha channel, you got the delta wave, you got the beta surface, you got the omega location, and you got the theta channel. See? All in line center to graph interference. So the alpha understands the division location of delta. Delta understands the position location of beta. Beta understands the operation location of mega. Mega understands the graph interference and teleportation line conditions to all levels of theta. All right? Do you see what I'm doing here? Everything I do is balance. So it's important you understand when I'm doing structure through formula. So if you're drawing something through travel, try to use the formula to get it through its equation. This is all done through your alphabetical system. The streamline center of the alphabet location is your data connections. How to use it is extremely powerful through provision. All right? So let's say you go through geometry, energy of operation, right? So right away, geometry, energy operation. Okay, now it's geo equals thurium. Okay, so I changed the equation, right? So it's no longer the geometric energy of operation now. It's geothurium. That calculates all levels, position, locations of your DNA. Ooh-ah. See? You see how I change it very quick, very fast through travel? Balance, 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 right? How many drawings am I setting up? How many drawings am I setting up? In a blink of an eye. Without thinking. It's already stored. So, coming into symbols. Now, symbols are complicated because now you're coming into all levels of templates. Symbols are complicated because you have to understand the weather. What is the division? It gets complicated if you understand the track centers and location. All right. So it's very hard if you don't modify the signal in position line center. Rotation and interference line conditions all position. Calculation modification line conditions to its position line center. See? You don't know what it is, but I know what it is. Right? So this is all about memory. This is put in your mind line centers every single day through calculations. Whether you understand that or not, it's totally up to you. But this is graph interference line conditions. Applied to division locations, all right? Galaxy line center and line rotation at all levels. Memory communication to the point line center interference, okay? North channel to south line rotations of all line positions, okay? Vector core communication sonar. Channel line centers of diamond core and interference line conditions in position. See the diamond? Rotation interference is Fibonacci sequence. Upline signals, swing line position locations, redirect line center, point line centers, point location to load connections. In high centers, arrow dot line center interference, 2-point locations of vector core communication flux capacitor. Done through equation. All right, so in that position, everything is done through communication. Right? Communication, right? Equals communication. So that's track line center flux capacitor location to its connections. Communication equals communication, right? Communication. See the intelligence? See the eyes? When you draw these things, it comes into modification. See the eyes? Looks like Bart. Hey, man. So, you have to really have fun with it. Try to use everything through formation of a map. And that's how you calculate, modify anything through calculation. It's a lot more fun when you take it out of the equation. There's no thought process. It's already done. So when you understand what's going on with the letters, numbers, and shapes and symbols, it's how to put everything all in one, right? So you can do a symbol line center locations to a number sequence of 6 in position location equals square. Square equals line center / location rotation. Okay. Or you can do a connections to a Fibonacci sequence, locations equals box. Box equals flux capacitor. Okay. Or you can do teleportation unit line center, crop circle location positions equals E, okay, / volume. Right at the top, knowing exactly what you're doing through your alphabetical connections. So it's putting all formations all into one, right? So it's very powerful what you're doing, right? So when you're getting into higher levels, you can get more complicated through screen centers. Now the graph interference line condition starts off this position. Start with the graph line rotation. Crisscross location line conditions, right? Now, you can channel on this position locations, you can channel on this position locations, you can channel on this position locations, or you can channel through this position location. So remember, even though it's off signal, it doesn't matter. Something's off. This is off. What's happened? It's miscalculating, right? So in calculations, it recenters its high line center of 3, position of 6, and position of 9 in locations, right? 3, 6, and 9. Plasma line channel fixes it on rotation. There you go. Back in calculation. See? So I communicate to the sun position of 6 to the 9 line center, set up position locations to its UFO. See the UFO? See it? See the graph interference? TV box line center to a UFO position location comes into a graph interference in position location to its direction. Ooh-ah. See? Amazing, isn't it? So if you make a mistake, if you tangle up, you tangle on. See? That's how you do it through all levels of the sun. Where are you in the sun? Where are you in the light? Where are you in the moon? And where are you through program? So, and you have to understand, when you're traveling, you're setting up structure, locations of codes. And I really want the crew, units, squads, and ones and twos and everything through the GFLs and rebellion and everything that Senate masters really understand how to do formula. Right? Formula is everything. E equals box equals teleportation. Take teleportation to a box, sys line centers, travel position, location, line connection. Easy. Right? So you have to do it without thinking. It's all doing, all through knowing. Circle line interference. All right, circle, calculation, circle, circle, line, crisscross, activation, calculation modification to a system. Right? When you're activating, you can change the stream centers, illuminate anything through all levels of marker division to its calculation. See? That's it, done. So it's important to understand what you're doing through travel. Everything that is all levels of you is through your thoughts. How you're traveling through it is another thing. And it's very important to understand how to use it through its equation, right? Equation equals question. Equation equals question. That's back force, isn't it? So that is a back force. Back equals force. Equation equals question. It's backwards, isn't it? But it's not. It's backwards force. So you're telling the position location of the teleportation unit. The X2000 comes in, scans position locations, understands the direction, brings in the plateau interference, back into the sun, back to the moon. So you really, really have to understand what you're doing through the alphabetical system. All right, so where are we? Powerful, isn't it? All right. Made some for everyone. They can, whatever they want to design. The full flash drive set up, beautiful. I see grounding connections today. Wow. Terran grounding, bracelet, arts. It's not just traveling, guys. I really want you guys to get into your formulas. You have to get into your formulas so you can understand your data stream, because that's all it is. It's given information that's given to you, but you have to learn how to travel through it, through its formula. That's the balance of the male and the female. The male and the female, everything through the alphabetical connection is one letter, one number, one shape, one symbol. That's how you get all calculations. Everything in life is communications, right? To the male and the female aspects of you. Okay? Split in half, the male and the female of everything through calculation, through letters, numbers, shapes, and symbols. There you go. Male position locations of L, female communications of L, N, S, S. Right? So I've shown you so many levels of equation, how to use these things through templates. You know, template here, trial position. You got to atom template, atom template, atom template, atom template. There's 4. Oh, now we have a diamond in calculations. Now you can do a line cross. You can do an overcross. You can do a circle line center. You can a rotation spin system. You can activate stream center to box position. You can a high line center to more security defense line to 12 line center rotation to its calculation. Ooh-ah. So you can high force its high line center, set for more security, or you can change the track line center, turn it into a hub, and then again, you send another security defense line. In that calculations, you come into levels of a ground system. See the intelligence, see the face, see the body. Everything is structure of levels of you. You are traveling through you. Unified system location of ascending line center, unified position location line conditions to its ascension. See the body coming in, see the face. It's amazing how I set up structure locations. Look how powerful that is, addition. So, all right. Everything takes time, guys. Everything takes time. All right, where are we here? Circle outward with your energies is strong, expanding everywhere. Activate your grounds. Triangulation. Unified field, zip zap zoom. Made some for everyone. They can design. I can see your grounding connections to Tinder today. Wow. See, the thing is, too, when you're traveling faster, you're seeing more of you and everybody else, and what they're doing and where they are in their travel. And that's what it is to intelligence. Okay? See the body, see the face, see the structure. Look how powerful that is, guys. I created a face structure line center, 2 levels of teleportation unit. All through positions of box centers. So, this helps you and always informs. It's not just the imagination, but it's the phenomenon of what you're doing. Do you understand what you're traveling through? Let's look at it that way, right? If I draw a circle, you see it as a circle. I see everything other than a circle. I see everything of operation. So what is that? That equals the how. Right? And then you understand the O is not an O. The O is not an O. See? It's the how. It's the operation equals the how. You don't need to understand the why until you understand the how. And the how becomes the why, and the why becomes the how. So massive nothing is everything of information to triangulation. There you go. Ooh-ah, triangulation. So it's important you understand that how to use it through the alphabet. You come into new graph centers, new interference, new coloration patterns, high channel and line center, electrical lights, electrical panels, electrical line condition interference, graph interference, Schumann resonance, rainbow activation line condition to a graph. There it is. There's a graph. High signal, medium signal, low gravity signal. 4 different signals, teleportation units to intelligent location, right? Imagination is everything through core line center. See, 4 different UFO line centers, scanning position locations. See how I changed the graph? Amazing, isn't it? Set up 4 line centers into one big, humongous crop circle location. All through a graph. So it's a lot of fun, but you have to understand what you're doing, right? So the imagination, get into your imagination. I, doesn't matter. Energy is formation. So you come into intelligence. Intelligence equals energy. Okay, energy equals teleportation. Okay. Why do you think it's so important to understand the structure of what you're doing through travel? You're traveling through the mind. You're accelerating. Travel. So travel can be turned into anything. I was trying to figure that out too. That's travel, right? But if you travel through the R line center, you travel through the A, you travel through the V, you travel through the E, what are you creating? It's no longer travel, is it? It's something else, especially when you open up a portal, see? And that portal comes out line center, there's an XT1000 line connection, right? Now it's graphing interference. XT1000s always scans the grounds, always scans the powers, always scans the atmosphere location, okay? So I'm just showing you how powerful that is all through travel. All right. Clocking set, antenna up and receiving. Good. Raising the main. Wow. Good. Memory is everything. Understanding your memory is everything through its connections. The only way to do that is to get into your structures, right? That's how I get out of situations. I travel, right? It's much easier. You put it down on paper. You put it down on paper, people. Paper. In this case, this is a digital pad, right? So you look at the positive equals negative. Positive equals negative. Positive slash, right? Because if you don't put the slash in there, it's separating the negative line center. So the negative position location takes over the positive locations. Now it's negative positive. See what I did? There's the intelligence. See the eyes? Everything is in form of intelligence. See? Whether you like it or not, it's all levels of you. So you are traveling through all connections, through higher formations of intelligence. So that's how you get things out of the equation. I mean, you can go through different graph screens. There's a blue one, right? Doesn't matter what. If I go through blue and I put on red, it's got to understand its travel. To understand its travel, I can't travel through it. So what's going to happen is it's going to go like this. It's not coming into a line until I understand that this is not just a digital pad. This is intelligence. This is all formations of coloration. This is a computer. So you have to respect what you are seeing through its computer because you are a computer. Once you understand that, then you understand how to travel through its line. Powerful stuff, isn't it? He's just showing you at so many levels. Every color here is representation of you through perception. So, bet you didn't know that, did you? Everything you do is a representation of you through energy and vibration. Energy equals vibration equals velocity equals box equals teleportation. Hooah. So to understand this is understand the structure, right? So the energy can be anything through formation. I mean, it's anything to create a line center. So that's a trifactor. You're trifactoring communication of what you're manufacturing. You're trifactoring, right? So the trifactor becomes into its energy. So let's say you create the box. That's through E, right? It's calculate and modify to a box, right? So that's trifactor position. So that automatically comes in the grounds. That comes into your flux capacitor. Now, equals equation line connections, you need the velocity through speed. So the box is going to go through acceleration to its position. See how it travels? Velocity. So you're telling the velocity. Now, if it's on vector, that comes into higher force line center of a box position. Because now you're coming into higher levels of calculation modification to its command system. All right? So it's all about understanding how to calculate and modify and communicate with the alphabet. So are you saying velocity? Right? Are you saying vacuum? It's all position location. So A is representation to what? Everything. A is representation of everything. A equals everything. Now, what you desire. So A turns into what? See? That's what A turns into. You have to come into different variation tactics and understand A is everything through form, through mutation equals mutation. Okay? And that's just A. So that's why it's so important. Okay. Let's see here. Triangulations, wings, 3,000 lines of E fields. Good. Sounds awesome. Core. Energies, see the sounds, waves, vibrations, heat, thrusters. Good. Seeing a whole new level. Yeah. Well, every time you get up in the morning, you're rebirthing your locations, your alphabetical conditions, a lot of numbers and shapes and symbols, guys. Remember that through calculation. All right. So we're almost at 50 channel line centers of time position. So in calculation, I'll take you guys out of the equation center. Go into high line center, crew line center, unit line ones, and position squads 1 and 2 position locations, the GFLs, rebellion, and everything to high line center calculations of center masters. Taking the equation line, center line, rotations, all positions, the whole timeline, and interference location of life cycles, life surface, life interference, life force, line centers, gravity interference locations, put it back in track center. Boom. Now you're back. That's how it's done through equation. Done. Equals equation. Ooh-ah. That was fun. I showed you so many levels of transformation and how you can infuse everything through the alphabetical system. Letters, numbers, shapes, and symbols all in one position. Take it out of its equation. That's why it's so powerful. You're not traveling. You're manifesting. Travel is the beginning. Manifesting is the creation. So you're mastering your plan all through memory. Integrates the location of the future system of yourself. Right? That's what this is all about. But when you travel, you're trying to get out of situations. Let's say that you had a bad day at work. All right. So work. This is how I use work as a reference. All right. So work, heavy work. You're boxed in through W. All right. So how do you get work out of position? Well, you take it out of the equation. There it is. Out. No more problem. No more stress. Ooh-ah. Do you see how that works? Do you see the psychological interference? Do you see the psychosis locations? You had a heavy day, very busy day at work. You take it out of the equation. No more problem. See? You have to understand how powerful you are in the mind and what you can do and take anything out of the equation location. Now, if you're happy, it's going to start with an H. Now, with an H, you can set up a diamond. You can travel through the H line center, right? You can set up a new graph interference. You can bring the H up to here. You can bring the H up to here. So it's all about understanding how to set up a graph interference location of H, of being happy. Ooh-ah. Harmonious, higher levels, all through happy, all through a triangle of 3, 6, and 9. So it's amazing what you can do, but it's all about taking things out of its equation. Okay? Yeah, Ambi, that's exactly what it is. You can do anything through imagination. There's no limit of what you can create. I just showed you so many structures of formulas. Right? So I recommend you watching this video again and really understand how to do these things through your mind. Okay? Because it works every single time. Because you're communicating through the avatar, which is you through all levels of the mind. Right? Okay, so questions or comments, let me know. Okay. We have private sector coming up, so I'll highlight its position locations. Other than that, I will see you guys after. Have a beautiful day.